it was very, very difficult moment.
Thank you for a lot of thanks for the government, Jharkhand. The police is very fast investigation. 3 or 4 people is detained.
विदेश से महिलाएं आई है, इस रास्ते से गुजर रही हैं, दोनों पति पत्नी हैं। आपके रास्ते से कौन गुजर रहा है, कौन आ रहा है, कौन जा रहा है, कोई पता नहीं है। उसकी देखभाल की रक्षा किसके हाथ में होता है, कौन करते हैं, यही तो मैं पूछना चाहती हूँ। सरकार अगर इतना कमजोर है या किसके दबाव में ये हो रहा है? मुझे तो लग रहा है इसमें किसी न किसी का दबाव चल रहा है। बिना दबाव का ये हो नहीं सकता है कि 4 आदमी का लिस्टिंग ना हो, जबकि उसका नाम जो पकड़ाए हैं उन्होंने दे दिया है। फिर क्या दिक्कत है भाई?
I want to cut across to my colleague Satyajit, who's joining us live with the very latest right now. Satyajit, first up, where the safety and the health of the woman is concerned, is she in the clear? Are they taken care of both physically, emotionally? Is everything that is needed available to the couple after the horrific incident that they've been through? All right, we're going to try and get Satyajit back with us. Satyajit Kumar would be joining us from Dumka, where this incident has taken place. What I'm going to do, viewers, once again listen in to this woman and her husband after the horror that they have been through. And horror is a cliche when you use it here. Gang raped by 7 men and still coming out and suggesting and saying that, she's posted on her own social media handle that this is not so much about India. It's about the incident that she's been through, which happened in Dumka. But having said that, it's a shame, collective shame where our country is concerned, because these were tourists and it happened, viewers, on our watch. Listen in once again to the survivor and her husband.
Rap for the all 7 men a lot of times, and they also beat us, both my husband and me, all the time. They are tell us to be in silence. They are beat us in the head, also in the body, and it was very, very difficult moment.
All right, let's connect back to Satyajit Kumar, my colleague, joining us for more on this story. Satyajit, horrific incident that has taken place. But first up, my first question, is the survivor and her husband taken care of? Do they have all that they need?
Yeah, of course, Preeti, they are being taken care of. And in an exclusive interview with our group, India Today group, the rape survivor said that she has all praise for the Indians. They are good, and she has been in India for the last 6 months. This has never happened with them. She also expressed her thanks and gratitude for the police, the way police swung into action. 3 were arrested and all cooperation were extended to her. And she said that same cooperation should be extended by police to all the Indians also, all children, and they should have the same attitude towards all women and girls. She had all the praise for the Indians and for the
Satyajit,
police. But
well, that's very brave of her and a very big
roll
heart at this point of time. But the fact is very clear that every Indian collectively needs to hang their head in shame. We need to be ashamed. It is a matter of us being humiliated of what has really happened. But Satyajit, I want to get you back into the conversation, and I want to ask you again, in terms of the arrests that have been made, there have been 7 that this brave woman has accused of rape. Now, out of that, what we have been given to understand, only 4 have been taken into custody, 3 are still at large.
Listen, Preeti, we spoke to the DC of Dumka also. 4 are still at large, and police are conducting raids. The technical cell is working round the clock to trace the location of the culprits. They have all the information who are involved in that. They have the name. They know that from where they hail. But the raids are being conducted, and meanwhile the politics has started to roll out. DC said that they are making all their efforts. 2 SIT has been constituted, 1 to investigate the matter and the second to conduct raids to nab the accused. All the 4 accused who are still at large, and they are absconding. But meanwhile, BJP has got an issue, and they are keeping no stone unturned to slam the ruling JMM and Congress. They are saying that there is no semblance of law and order in Jharkhand. It has been thrown to winds, and the
Satyajit,
government
politics
is
will definitely happen, and politics actually should happen, and the government in question should be made accountable by the opposition in that state. But that aside, I also want to come back and ask you a question. The couple, traumatized clearly, are they going to now leave the country? Do you have any idea?
No, she is still in Dumka, and what are the plans? We don't have any idea, and she has not discussed or revealed it with us. But for sure, they are on a tourist visa. They had come to Pakistan. From Pakistan, they came to Bangladesh, and from Bangladesh, via the border, they have entered into Jharkhand, and they had the plans to go to Nepal. And now they are in Dumka. They were on their way to Nepal, or they have come back from Nepal. The rape survivor has not revealed it, but clearly she is traumatized. The way she discussed how the ordeal was perpetrated on her, and it continued for a long time. Several times she was subjected to the same treatment. They were beaten also. And she, from the face, it can be read that she was feeling a bit shattered. But the way they have got the cooperation from police, that has brought some solace, some comfort to the couple.
All right. Also a matter, like I said again, viewers, of deep humiliation for each one of us. It happened on our watch, and there is no denying that. She might have the grace to say that it's not all Indians, it's not India. She's been there, she likes the country, which is very graceful and magnanimous of her. But this is on us. Thank you, Satyajit, for joining us. With that latest report, we're going to come back to you for more updates on that story. Meanwhile, let's quickly cut across on the big news that came in from the courts today. No more notes for votes. A big judgment by the Supreme Court right ahead of the Lok Sabha polls this year. The top court of the country, in an unanimous judgment, ruled that lawmakers are liable to be prosecuted if they receive bribes for votes or speeches in the House. The Supreme Court, overruling the judgment in the 1998 case, said that bribery is not protected by parliamentary privilege, and that legislators taking bribes to vote or speech inside House is absolute. The court also said that immunity given now is only for free exchange of ideas in Parliament, and that members in the House must be free from fear and favour from outside influences.
We hold that bribery is not protected by parliamentary privilege for the following reasons. The words anything and any, when read with their respective operative words, mean that a member may claim immunity to say as they feel and vote in a direction that they desire on any matter before the House. These are absolutely outside the scope of interference by the courts. The wide meaning of anything and any, read with their companion words, connotes actions of speech or voting inside the House or committee, which are absolute. The phrase in respect of applies to the collective phrase anything said or any vote given. The words in respect of means arising out of or bearing a clear relation to. This may not be overbroad or be interpreted to mean anything which may have even a remote connection with the speech or vote given. We therefore cannot concur with the majority judgment in P.V. Narasimha Rao. The purpose and object for which the Constitution stipulates powers, privileges and immunity in Parliament must be borne in mind. Privileges are essentially related to the House collectively and necessary for its functioning. Hence, the phrase in respect of must have a meaning consistent with the purpose of privileges and immunities. Articles 105 and 194 of the Constitution seek to create a fearless atmosphere in which debate, deliberations, and exchange of ideas can take place within the Houses of Parliament and the state legislatures. For this exercise to be meaningful, members and persons who have a right to speak before the House or any committee must be free from fear or favor induced into them by a third party. Members of the legislature and persons involved in the work of the committees of the legislature must be able to exercise their free will and conscience to enrich the functionings of the House. This is exactly what is taken away when a member is induced to vote in a certain way, not because of their belief or position on an issue, but because of a bribe taken by the member. Corruption and bribery of members of the legislature erode the foundation of Indian parliamentary democracy. It is destructive of the aspirational and deliberative ideals of the Constitution and creates a polity which deprives citizens of a responsible, responsive and representative democracy.
भी विधायक अगर पैसा लेके सवाल पूछता है या पैसा लेके वोट करता है राज्यसभा के चुनाव में, तो उसको कोई इम्यूनिटी प्राप्त नहीं होगी, कोई उसको अलग से प्रोटोकॉल नहीं मिलेगा, उसके खिलाफ भ्रष्टाचार का मुकदमा चलेगा। माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा है कि ये पैसा लेके वोट करना और पैसा लेके सवाल पूछना, ये पार्लियामेंट्री डेमोक्रेसी के लिए जहर के समान है, ये पार्लियामेंट्री डेमोक्रेसी के लिए कैंसर है, इसलिए इसको रोकना बहुत ज़रूरी है। और आज स्पष्ट कर दिया है, अब किसी भी विधायक को या किसी भी सांसद को पैसा लेके पार्लियामेंट में कुछ भी करने पे कोई इम्यूनिटी नहीं होगी। उसको नॉर्मल जैसे एक क्रिमिनल के खिलाफ केस चलता है, एक भ्रष्टाचारी के खिलाफ केस चलता है, वो भ्रष्टाचारी के खिलाफ केस चलेगा।
All right, viewers, let's look south now, where the Prime Minister is visiting over the next 2 days. He's been on his big southern sojourn to connect with voters in Kerala, in Telangana and Tamil Nadu. In these 3 states, BJP has not fared well in past, leading the Prime Minister to amp up his south mission. Here's a detailed report.
Prime Minister Modi officially kicked off BJP's election campaign in January in Kerala's Thrissur with a rally of over 2 lakh women. Over a month later, on 28th February, the Prime Minister was in Tamil Nadu, where he launched projects worth over 17,000 crore rupees and launched a fierce attack on the DMK.
तमिलनाडु में कई अखबार हैं, कई टीवी चैनल हैं जो इन खबरों को छापना चाहेगी, दिखाना चाहेगी, लेकिन यहां जिस प्रकार की सत्ता है वो उनको ये नहीं करने देगी। लेकिन उसके बावजूद भी हम तमिलनाडु की सेवा में कभी रुकेंगे नहीं, विकास के कामों को अटकने नहीं देंगे। ये सारे जो प्रोजेक्ट मैं आज लेके आया हूं, ये दशकों से यहां के लोगों की मांग थी। आज जो यहां सत्ता में बैठे हैं, वे लोग उस समय दिल्ली में बैठे थे, सरकार चलाते थे, ये डिपार्टमेंट चलाते थे, लेकिन उनको आपके विकास की परवाह नहीं थी। भारत सरकार के प्रयास से आज तमिलनाडु में आधुनिक कनेक्टिविटी एक नई ऊंचाई पर है।
On Monday, the Prime Minister was back in Tamil Nadu's capital. It's clear that to achieve its target of 370 seats, the BJP is focusing big on the south. Earlier on Monday, the Prime Minister was in Telangana's Adilabad.
आजादी के इतने दशकों तक उस योगदान को कभी सम्मान नहीं दिया गया। 2014 के बाद बीजेपी की केंद्र में सरकार ने तेलंगाना के विकास को, आदिवासी समाज के सम्मान को इतना महत्व दिया।
It was in Telangana that the Prime Minister gave Mera Parivar war cry.
भ्रष्टाचार, परिवारवाद और तुष्टीकरण में आकंठ डूबे इंडी गठबंधन के नेता बौखलाते जा रहे हैं। मैं इनके परिवारवाद पर सवाल उठाता हूं तो इन लोगों ने बोलना शुरू कर दिया है कि मोदी का कोई परिवार नहीं है। मेरा जीवन खुली किताब जैसा है। और जब मैंने अपना घर छोड़ा, एक सपना लेकर के चला था, देशवासियों के लिए जीऊंगा। मेरी पल पल की खबर देश रखता है और कभी मैं रात देर तक जब काम करता हूं और खबर बाहर निकल जाती है तो देश से लाखों लोग मुझे लिखते हैं, बताते हैं कि इतना काम मत करिए, कुछ आराम करिए। आज पूरा देश एक सुर में कह रहा है, मैं हूं मोदी का परिवार।
Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh together have 129 seats. Sources say that the BJP's key focus this time will be 84 seats in South India, declared weak, that the party has never won. The number is crucial for NDA's 400 par target. Will it be able to breach the southern bastion? Bureau Report, India Today.
In case you forgot, viewers, the political drama in the state of Himachal Pradesh continues. Looks like the Congress is trying very hard to convince Minister Vikramaditya Singh. Sources suggest Vikramaditya was in the capital, met Congress General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi last evening. The meeting lasted for about an hour and a half, where Vikramaditya spoke about issues faced by disgruntled MLAs. Now, sources informed India Today that either Priyanka Gandhi and KC Venugopal may speak with all Congress MLAs to address their grievances. Meanwhile, the 6 rebel MLAs who were disqualified by the Speaker may knock on Supreme Court's door against the disqualification. These MLAs cross-voted during Rajya Sabha elections, which led to the victory of the BJP candidate Harsh Mahajan. With that, a quick break to stay with us on the other side. Top focus on to the point. How much does the woman vote matter? Well, it's become a rhetorical question of late, especially if we've seen the last few elections. A quick break, but we're going to be back with it. This time on what the Aam Aadmi Party has done. 1,000 rupees for women in the national capital. Quick break.
इंडेक्स फंड क्या होता है? इंडेक्स फंड्स पैसिवली मैनेज फंड्स होते हैं जो किसी इंडेक्स जैसे कि निफ्टी या सेंसेक्स को सिर्फ कॉपी करते हैं।
तो वो भैया, ये गाना लास्ट वीक 6 पे था, इस वीक ये 3rd पे आ गया।
इंडेक्स फंड्स भी अपने इंडेक्स को ऊपर नीचे दोनों तरफ से फॉलो करते हैं।
मतलब इंडेक्स फंड इसके प्लेलिस्ट की तरह है और अलग भी, जहाँ पे गाने चेंज होते हैं लेकिन टॉप 20 रहेगा।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.
पटना की रैली में इंडी गठबंधन के सभी नेताओं की उपस्थिति में प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के ऊपर एक बार पुनः इस स्तर का, इस निचले और छिछले स्तर का शब्द प्रयोग किया गया है श्री लालू प्रसाद यादव जी के द्वारा, जो दुखद है और कष्टकारक है। उन्होंने मोदी जी के परिवार के विषय में यह बात कही, तो मैं याद दिला देना चाहता हूं कि प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के लिए परिवार पूरा देश है। और यह बात आज की नहीं है बहनों भाइयों, हम सब लोग अपने परिवार के साथ होली दिवाली मनाते हैं। प्रधानमंत्री बनने के बाद 2014 की पहली दीपावली प्रधानमंत्री जी ने कहां मनाई थी? सीमा पर सैनिकों के साथ। यह उनका परिवार था। और उससे लेके आज तक जितनी दीपावली पड़ी है, किसी न किसी सीमा की चौकी पर सुरक्षा बलों के साथ दीपावली मनाई है। यह है उनका परिवार। 15 अगस्त 2023 को, अभी पिछले 15 अगस्त को, लाल किले की प्राचीर से उन्होंने जो संबोधन किया, उन्होंने क्या कहा था? मेरे परिवारजनों। यह है मोदी जी का परिवार। और यह भाव सिर्फ 2014 से नहीं है, अपनी तरुणाई की अवस्था में, जब उन्होंने समाज के लिए और राष्ट्र को परम वैभव तक ले जाने के संकल्प के साथ अपने परिवार को छोड़ा था, तो उसी क्षण उन्होंने यह संकल्प ले लिया था कि अब ये पूरा देश मेरा परिवार है और इसीलिए परिवार के काम में किसी को
आज आदिलाबाद की धरती तेलंगाना ही नहीं, पूरे देश के लिए कई विकास धाराओं की गवाह बन रही है। आज मैं आप सबके बीच 30 से ज्यादा विकास कार्यों के लोकार्पण और शिलान्यास, इसका मुझे आज यहां अवसर मिला है। 56,000 करोड़ 56,000 करोड़ रुपीस, उससे भी ज्यादा ये प्रोजेक्ट तेलंगाना समेत देश के अनेक राज्यों में विकास का नया अध्याय लिखेंगे। इनमें ऊर्जा से जुड़े कई बड़े प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं, पर्यावरण की रक्षा के लिए किए जा रहे कार्य हैं और तेलंगाना में आधुनिक रोड नेटवर्क विकसित करने वाले हाईवेज भी हैं। मैं तेलंगाना के मेरे भाइयों बहनों को और साथ ही सभी देशवासियों को इन परियोजनाओं के लिए बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। साथियों,
there may be possibility of putting the name Rameshwaram. Recently, Rama temple is dedicated to the nation. Who won't tolerate such things? They may do this activity. Siddharamaya, Rama is there in your name. Shivakumar, Ishwara is there in your name. Parameshwar, Ishwara is there. Rameshwara is a hotel. They have attacked the hotel. In coming days, they may attack you people also. I don't know why you are keeping quiet. By this time, you could have arrested. You need not want so much time.
Today the issue is that even before the investigation could have started and come out with a conclusion, why was the government of Karnataka, especially the leaders of Congress party, giving a cooker blast narrative, giving a rivalry narrative? Was it not preempting the agencies? Why did you want to tie up the hands of the agencies? It is because the Congress DNA has always been to give secular sanrakshan to those who indulge in acts of terror for vote bank purposes.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Powered by PolicyBazaar.com. हर फैमिली होगी इंश्योर्ड. No stress Phenolics.
On the eve of 2024 Lok Sabha election, AAP announces mega scheme.
एक नई क्रांतिकारी योजना लेकर आ रही हैं। ये शायद 2024-25 के बजट का सबसे बड़ा कदम है। इस योजना का नाम है मुख्यमंत्री महिला सम्मान योजना और इसके तहत 18 साल की उम्र से ज़्यादा की हर महिला को 1000 रुपये प्रति माह की सम्मान राशि
1,000 rupees a month to all adult women in Delhi. Tax paying or pension receiving women not eligible. Yet another direct cash transfer incentive to women.
ये मैं ताकत आज दिल्ली के लोगों से मांग रहा हूँ कि आप लोग जब वोट डालने जाओ तो दिल्ली की सोचना केजरीवाल के हाथ मजबूत करने के लिए, ताकि ये रोज मैं जो लड़ रहा हूँ आप मेरे को ताकत दोगे तो किसी एलजी की हिम्मत नहीं होगी आपके काम रोकने की।
आप Congress, BJP, TMC, all parties all in for the woman vote. Is it a gimmick or a game changer? The fierce fight for the woman vote begins. The woman vote matters. Every political party hearing the deafening roar of this vote bank, appeasement in the form of sops, in incentives, in poll promises, but rarely in political representation. The woman vote bank, in every election, always the kingmaker, never the king. Representation, not appeasement. Top focus, on to the point.
All right, let's quickly get to the news break and then we cut across to our big debate on the Women Vote Bank. And the latest coming in is Rahul Gandhi's response to Modi ka Parivar jibe. Well, it all started with what Lalu Yadav said, and then the Prime Minister turned it around as Mera Parivar Bharat Hai. At the back of that, all leaders, senior leaders of the BJP started writing, at least in their social media bios, Modi ka Parivar. Well, Rahul Gandhi has now retorted, hitting back, tweeting out a picture of Adani and Modi mocking BJP's Hum Hai Modi Ka Parivar, suggesting Adani is the real family looting India and the Prime Minister family is Adani and not possibly Bharat. Well, this is going to ensue in days to come, viewers. Lok Sabha election campaigning is truly and fully on. That tweet coming in of Rahul Gandhi, we're going to play that tweet out as well. Rahul Gandhi holding that picture of the Prime Minister and Gautam Adani while he was in Parliament and tweeting that picture out, suggesting this is the Prime Minister's real parivar. We're going to leave it at that coming in, and let's quickly cut across back to our big debate this evening, and that is on the Women Vote Bank. Joining me this evening, Akshay Marathe, National Spokesperson, Aam Aadmi Party; Onika Mehrotra, National Spokesperson, Congress; Siddharth Yadav, Spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party. In the studio with me, Amitabh Tiwari, Political Analyst. While we wait for Akshay Marathe, who will also be joining the debate shortly, Amitabh Tiwari, I want to bring you in. You know, it all started earlier on, many moons and decades ago with saris and pressure cookers. It quickly turned into other kinds of sops. Then it came free cylinder, then it came toilet. All of that has been coming in, and of late we've seen a flood of direct cash transfers. We saw how the Ladli Behna Yojana turned it around for the Bharatiya Janata Party in the state of Madhya Pradesh, and practically every political party, it's not just one, they're all in where direct cash transfers are concerned to women.
Yeah, because women are increasingly
appearing as an important vote bank. They have been making independent voting decisions as the awareness and the literacy level increases. So we've seen that direct benefit or cash transfers have more impact than any other scheme because there is no leakage, and the amount of money can be used by the women as per their will for whatever use they wish to. Now, if you see this, this was the original idea of the Aam Aadmi Party, which was copied by Congress in many states and then also by BJP in the form of Ladli Behna Yojana. However, AAP was criticized for the fact that this Yojana, which they have publicized elsewhere, is not in applicability in Delhi, where the party has been in power for 10 years. And I think since the elections are due next year, and the Aam Aadmi Party is feeling some sort of heat because of the top leadership in jail, the party is trying to woo the women vote bank. However, the impact on the Lok Sabha elections, I feel, is not going to be significant because, again, it is fairly confusing messaging because it is Aam Aadmi Party's promise. What is India's promise? What is Congress Party's promise is not clear. And the amount of money is also different in different states.
All right, very, very interesting, where at least, like I said, the games have been declared open and it is the woman vote bank that is going to be in question that needs to be wooed. I want to cut across to Akshay Marathi. He's going to be joining us a short while from now from the Aam Aadmi Party because today they floated a theme. But let's begin with Siddharth Yadav, spokesperson, Bharatiya Janata Party, who's in the studio with me. Siddharth Yadav, you know, you've been doing it in practically every state. You practically won, they say, Madhya Pradesh at the back of Ladli Behna Yojana. So there's really nothing much to complain about, even if Aam Aadmi Party has done it right before elections in Delhi.
No, Preeti, I think what is more important to understand is that the Aam Aadmi Party is more than welcome to introduce any scheme for the welfare of women, to come out, copy any good scheme that's there around. But the real question is the kind of working of the Delhi Aam Aadmi Party government is the working with corruption. How they have been working all around the Delhi Jal Board, how they have been stealing money from different departments, how their ministers are now new policies introduced and a minister goes into jail. How that has been all rolling out, it's doubtful for me that on the pretext of working for the welfare of women, what is the corruption agenda of the Aam Aadmi Party behind this? That is the real question. Had you been working for women, you could have done a lot of things.
But they started out, you know, okay, because as I wait for Akshay, Siddharth, it was the Aam Aadmi Party who started it out. It's free bus ride and tickets. You followed it. You made it a part of your own guarantee. You've taken a cue from the Aam Aadmi Party. No, so it's okay if you do it, but it's not okay if the Aam Aadmi Party does it. We have not given any free bus tickets. And the Aam Aadmi Party also has to. It's going to be another scam one day that how suddenly once you give a free tickets on bus rides, suddenly women travelers increase. Suddenly you have to give a free slip. Can I remind you of your manifesto in Karnataka?
Yes, please.
Did you not offer free bus rides and free public transport? Why are you saying you did not?
No, are we giving any?
But you promised you didn't get elected.
Had we rolled out, Preeti, just give me 30 seconds. Of course. Had we rolled out a policy, you would have seen how that would have been more transparent than what the current Delhi government gives out as a model. But if I have to say, I'll just take 20 more seconds. If you had to work for women, work like how Modi ji did. Work how he has given reservation. Work how he has made 56% of the Jan Dhan accounts are owned by women. If houses are given in PM Awas Yojana, they are going to be registered for women names. We are first time seeing women pilots. We are first time seeing women entrepreneurs. If you are a startup holder, if Preeti, you open a startup tomorrow, under startup scheme, you're going to be given more money because you're women. You have to support them to come out, you know, open your wings, contribute to the country and work more. But here is the model of the Aam Aadmi Party, which is just trying to find, like all their models, like the Delhi Jal Board, they promised to do a yearly audit of the Delhi Jal Board. Why not? This is another scheme for the Aam Aadmi Party to just take out money from the exchequer's account and just use it for their own benefits.
As long as you agree that you did offer the bus rides, which you denied, but that's fine, fair enough, you have your point. Akshay Marathe, I want to bring you in on this conversation, and yes, that's a point, Akshay Marathe. Not appeasement, empowerment, representation. In your current assembly, and don't give me the example of what's going on where your MCD polls were concerned. Yes, on a lower scale, 55% are women where MCD polls are concerned, but 9 out of 70, that's your count where women are concerned.
Preeti, today's decision by the today's decision by the Aam Aadmi Party government to give 1,000 rupees per month to women in Delhi might be one of the biggest women empowerment programs India has ever seen. Let me tell you how. In India, women have always been at the margins of our families. Even in households, in nuclear family households, also you find that women are typically doing household work more than going out and earning income for the family. And in such kinds of structures, you find that women have lower power within the household. They do not get to make decisions for themselves. They do not often get to make expenditures on themselves. You'll find that women sometimes also skimp on going to doctors when they don't have the money to go to a doctor, and they'll prioritize something else that is more family oriented than themselves. So in order to make up for these kinds of inequalities within households, within society, it is very important to place actual cash in the hands of women in India today. Our labor force participation happens to be one of the lowest in the world. We have a situation where women are not able to get out to work, and so they need some kind of support. They can use that money to go to a doctor, they can use that money to feed themselves better, they can use that money to even educate their children better. And Aam Aadmi Party has shown that this can be done without causing a significant damage to the state's exchequer. Let me give you an example. We have been giving free electricity, free water to the city for the last 10 years. You know, our per capita income has almost doubled in the last 10 years. Our revenues have almost doubled in the last 10 years. That shows that when you induce demand in the economy by placing money in the hands of people, your economy booms. Delhi state GDP has been steadily above the national average because we have given money to the people to spend. They spend money, they create demand. There is manufacturing, there is consumption.
As I bring in Akshay Marathi, I just want to bring in Onika Mehrotra as well. She hasn't spoken. Let me allow me to get Onika Mehrotra. But you know, Akshay Marathi, the fact is also very clear that multiple studies across countries suggest only one thing. It's representation that works. It's putting women in place of policy making that works, because this is appeasement. And now this is a vote bank that is being appeased. But having said that, bringing in Onika Mehrotra into the... I'll come back to you, sir. Allow me to open up the debate. Sir, I will come back. Please, hold on to that thought. Hold on to that thought, Akshay. I'll come back. Onika Mehrotra, I want to bring you in. You know, similarly, I want to talk about the Congress, Onika Mehrotra. You know, with much fanfare, I still remember, and at that point of time, it was exemplary. But when Priyanka Gandhi stood and said 40% of tickets in the Uttar Pradesh elections will go to women, I do hope, Onika Mehrotra, that same yardstick would be applied when you're disbursing tickets for 2024 Lok Sabha elections.
I definitely hope so, and I'll pitch in for that, definitely, Preeti. That's there for sure. But let's get into the topic that we're talking about, Preeti, that, you know, it's all about empowerment, because ultimately, after demonetization, look what happened to women. Whatever little money they could save, you know, they should spend on the family affairs. Now with demonetization, with unemployment, with pricing rise, you know, so much happening all over, they're unable to save anything, you know, for the family. As said by Akshay also. The point is to empower them, rightly so. And Sheila ji started this with the girl child. You know, she did that with education. Every girl child who went to school, after she crossed the 10th and 12th, got X amount of money. So that way, it was encouraged for them to study. Similarly, if women above the age of 18 gets a certain amount of money, it will definitely help to roll out the economy. Ultimately, they are the makers of the whole family system. So hence, I feel it's more about empowerment than, you know, actually working on the vote bank and so on. Yes, the garb is always there. You know, appeasement, you please them. But technically speaking, and, you know, if you talk about empowerment and rising the standard of the women, we feel that is the utmost important to make their hands more secure.
All right, okay, but you know, well, you did get away, but you'll come back, Onika Mehrotra, very soon once your tickets are announced, and take it in writing. You know exactly how much percentage where women will be offered tickets. But yes, that's a conversation for another day. Amitabh Tiwari,
but we did that.
Because it was easy to do it in UP, Onika Mehrotra. Did you do it in Telangana? Did you do it in Madhya Pradesh? No. Amitabh Tiwari, I want to get you in. Ma'am, you and I both know better. There's no argument in this. You and I both know what went down. But Amitabh Tiwari, I'm getting you back into this conversation, and we'll cut across to Siddharth after that. There's a difference, Amitabh Tiwari, from SOPs and schemes to direct cash transfer. It's the direct cash transfer which seems to be the game changer in this where the vote is concerned. Do you reckon?
Yeah, of course, because in direct cash transfer, there is no leakage. The amount of money can be used as per the wish of the women. So either on the education of children or whatever they wish to. See, you are showing on the screen why the women vote is important, because even the turnout of the women is comparatively higher than men in the last few elections. And with 2% higher support to BJP in 2019 elections, that helped the party win 303 seats. However, as you mentioned, representation, the BJP list is out, but only 14%.
Amitabh Tiwari, we've lost you. There's a problem with your connection. We're going to try and reestablish that. Siddharth, let's pull you in and let me ask you the same question, where you said it is about empowerment of women. There is nothing stronger than politically empowering women. Putting women in positions of policy making is the biggest gift that you can give women for upliftment. So therefore, my question, lots of talk on women representation, lots of talk on getting women on board. Even in your first list, it's 14%. It's abysmal, Siddharth.
Preeti, first of all, I'll start with answering this question. It's not just talk. We brought a bill, we made it a law, we're going to implement it. We were the ones who, after independence, made it a bill. All these parties were the ones who have always opposed the women reservation bill, who have always stood against it. Some of them were even had to be, shunted out of the parliament, had to be taken away by the marshals when the women reservation bill was produced. Was when we were given them absolute majority, we brought it. That is point number one. Point number two, there's a difference between a promise and implementation. Had Arvind Kejriwal wanted to do this, he would have done it 6 months back. He could have implemented it and shown it to the people that, yes, I can do it. I have this much budget. I can appropriate this much amount. I'll just take 20 more seconds and I can do it. But he did not do it. It is totally, absolutely for his political gains. And it's very easy to make a promise.
Allow me a rebuttal. Allow me a rebuttal.
Right.
You know exactly how many months before in Madhya Pradesh that you introduced the Ladli Behna scheme?
But we
and you increased the money of it as well?
Preeti, that is where the difference...
2 months before elections.
No, Preeti. That is where the difference is. Madhya Pradesh being a larger state, the innocence with which both my friends from Congress and Aam Aadmi Party were trying to explain the scheme, they should have, with the same innocence, also mentioned that Madhya Pradesh did it in a larger state with more number of women.
But
and
they did it in Punjab.
And they did it.
But Aam Aadmi Party done it in Punjab.
And we did it when we were in power. Unlike Delhi, that we are approaching elections and we are saying, allow me to complete in 10 seconds. Unlike Delhi, when the Kejriwal government is saying, we'll do it after the elections, once the cabinet approves, when new government is formed. Why that? Do it 2 months back. Follow us and do it 2 months back. But you won't do it. Because you have to go on Vipassana, you have to go to this election, that election, evade all ED notices. And there is nothing in women welfare that you are concerned about. All you are concerned about is votes, how you can get more votes, and how your candidates in Delhi can be little over nota. That is it. That is all you want.
Akshay Marathe, what's your timeline? One thing, Siddharth has a point. The Ladli Behna scheme worked because even before the vote was cast, the money had checked into the bank accounts.
Preeti, I want to correct the BJP spokesperson that this is not a pre-election promise that has been made in an election rally. It has been made as part of the budget of this year passed by the Delhi Assembly. It was introduced today in the Delhi Legislative Assembly by Finance Minister Ms. Atishi. It was introduced by the Finance Minister. The Chief Minister has made a promise after the budget speech was made by the Finance Minister. So it is not some kind of electoral promise that has been made. We are committing Delhi government's funds. We are saying we will appropriate this X amount of money towards this scheme and we will implement it in this financial year. That is the timeline with budgets work. Now, coming to your point about political representation, Preeti, I want to clarify that both things are important and we cannot say that one has to happen at the cost of the other. Political representation can happen, but we also need to fix the economic incentives and structures within our society and our country. You see that there is a trickle-down economics vision that the Prime Minister and his party keeps harping on, where they are empowering all these big corporate houses. They think that the money will trickle down to the last man. We want to create an economy.
Four candidates that you've announced in Delhi, is there a woman in them, sir?
Preeti, can you let me finish my point? I was speaking a very important point about the economy, that we do not believe that trickle-down economy is working for India. We want to make a bottom-up economy where we are putting money directly into people's hands so that they can spend money on the economy, they can induce consumption, they can induce demand, and thereby inducing manufacturing capacity in our country, and that is where we think wealth creation will happen. And this is a cycle that you see in Western countries. You see value
I'll
creation,
ask you
you
that
see
question
wealth
again
creation,
before I go to
and
Monica.
that tax money is then
Akshay
used
Marathe.
to fund welfare programs.
Akshay,
like
you've
it is
spoken.
happening
Now
in Delhi
allow me
today.
to come in for a rebuttal before I bring in Monica and take closing statements. Out of the 4 names that you've announced, is there a woman representing Delhi? Or out of all names that you've announced right now for your Lok Sabha seats, is there a woman representing Delhi? Delhi or Gujarat? Akshay Marathe? There isn't. Anyway, that's a rhetorical
Punjab
question.
list has not been announced yet.
Okay, fine. Okay, your Punjab list is yet to come. We're hoping that we'll find some women there. Fair enough. Anika Mehrotra, closing statements, ma'am, 20 seconds. There's none the richer. All 3 of you might argue against each other. You guys are doing exactly the same thing. And ultimately, this is appeasement. Anika Mehrotra, closing comments.
No, I don't think so, Preeti, because it was we who gave 50% reservation to women. So it's the Congress party who was a champion of women empowerment all throughout. And for 33% reservation also, we pitched in the bill. The BJP never did that when they were, in the opposition. Now, the point is, if you're going to have ifs and buts and not implement the bill, then obviously a question will be raised. So the intent is not there. It's just a false promise, the same gimmicks that the Prime Minister and the Bharatiya Janata Party says of the guarantees. So unlike the guarantees, it has to be on the ground, and we want to see the light of the day.
Well, Akshay Marathe Siddharth did say that it's a part of the budget. It's got nothing to do with it. They will roll it out irrespective of whether they win Delhi or not in Lok Sabha.
Preeti, there's a very big difference between we will do it and we are doing it.
But they are doing it, that's what they're saying.
They are not. They could have done it 2 months back. I'm saying you're going into polls. You could have done it 2 months back. You didn't do it. But on the question of how many women candidates are they going to field,
okay, I'm going to cut.
They have fielded Mahabal Mishra, whom they used to accuse of corruption, father of Vinay Mishra, their own MLA, but they could not even field one woman. We have fielded 2 out of 5. Can you do it? Is the question.
Representation is something which cuts across party lines because it's abysmal. A quick break. Viewers, when we get back on the other side, Rahul Gandhi.
Corruption and bribery of members of the legislature erode the foundation of Indian parliamentary democracy. It is destructive of the aspirational and deliberative ideals of the Constitution.
A landmark Supreme Court judgment ending legal immunity for lawmakers who take bribes to vote and speak in parliament and assemblies.
The legislator is rewarded with immunity.
In a unanimous judgment, the 7-judge bench led by CJI Chandrachud said that MPs and MLAs can be prosecuted for taking bribes for vote and speeches in the House. In effect, overturning the Supreme Court's 1998 verdict by a 7-judge bench which shielded JMM MPs who were bribed by the Congress government of Narasimha Rao to win a no-trust motion. The court emphasized that parliamentary privilege does not extend to acts of bribery. The 1998 ruling had granted MPs and MLAs complete immunity in voting matters, shielding them from prosecution even in cases involving bribery. However, this latest verdict marks a departure from that stance, reinforcing the principles of accountability and integrity within the legislative process. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauded the judgment with a welcoming swagatam on X. He hailed the ruling as a pivotal step towards fostering clean politics and bolstering public trust in the democratic system.
Members of the
With the Supreme Court order, trouble now mounts for the bribe-taker netas of JMM, including Sita Soren, JMM MLA from Jama and daughter-in-law of party chief Shibu Soren. Sita is accused in one such bribery case from 2012. Bureau Report.
We hold that bribery is not protected by parliamentary privilege for the following reasons. The words anything and any, when read with their respective operative words, mean that a member may claim immunity to say as they feel and vote in a direction that they desire on any matter before the House. These are absolutely outside the scope of interference by the courts. The wide meaning of anything and any, read with their companion words, connotes actions of speech or voting inside the House or committee, which are absolute. The phrase in respect of applies to the collective phrase, anything said or any vote given. The words in respect of means arising out of or bearing a clear relation to. This may not be overbroad or be interpreted to mean anything which may have even a remote connection with the speech or vote given. We therefore cannot concur with the majority judgment in P.V. Narasimha Rao. The purpose and object for which the Constitution stipulates powers, privileges, and immunity in Parliament must be borne in mind. Privileges are essentially related to the House collectively and necessary for its functioning. Hence, the phrase in respect of must have a meaning consistent with the purpose of privileges and immunities. Articles 105 and 194 of the Constitution seek to create a fearless atmosphere in which debate, deliberations, and exchange of ideas can take place within the Houses of Parliament and the state legislatures. For this exercise to be meaningful, members and persons who have a right to speak before the House or any committee must be free from fear or favor induced into them by a third party. Members of the legislature and persons involved in the work of the committees of the legislature must be able to exercise their free will and conscience to enrich the functionings of the House. This is exactly what is taken away when a member is induced to vote in a certain way, not because of their belief or position on an issue,